Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about how to remodel a backyard on a budget. As a house flipper, I've remodeled over 50 backyards, spending from a couple $1,000s to over $100,000 each time. We're at my primary home and we remodeled this backyard completely to create this resort look. I'm going to use this backyard and a few other backyards I've remodeled as an example to show you how to remodel a backyard on a budget. The first step is to think about what's existing in your backyard and what features you would like to keep. Do you have a pool? Do you have a patio or deck? And do you have a lawn already? For example, here we already have a pool in the backyard that was taking a lot of space, and the pool was very old, had a lot of discoloration on the bottom, and also the pool coping was very dated. We also had a concrete patio here that was exposed aggregate that looked very unappealing. These existing features are a starting point of your backyard renovation because usually repurposing and refinishing the existing features are more cost-effective than installing new features. So with our existing patio, if we were to repair it and repaint it, it would have saved a lot of money instead of installing a new deck like we did here. Also, if you have a lawn and it's looking patchy, you could overseed it to revive it. But if you decide to install new sod, it would cost a few $1,000s, and it's definitely more expensive than seeding the lawn yourself. But the pool refinishing is an exception. We refinished this pool, which included new plaster, new tile, and new pool coping, which costed about $30,000 to $40,000. But if you were to fill in this pool, it would only be about $6,000 to $8,000. So actually filling in a pool is a lot more cost effective, but it depends on your preference. Do you really want to keep the pool or do you not care about having a pool? And if you worry about the high maintenance cost on a pool, then filling in the pool might be a good idea. The second step is to create a wish list. What outdoor features do you really want and what features can really enhance your outdoor experience? I'm going to talk about a few popular wish list items. The top of an outdoor wish list is a patio or a deck. This is the foundation of your backyard. Without a patio or a deck, you don't have anywhere to be in the backyard and you can't really entertain. There are also trees and plants that make a backyard colorful and pretty, and a lot of people also like a lawn that's great for kids and pets. There's also the pool and hot tub that are nice to haves but are expensive to install and to maintain. There's also outdoor grill or outdoor kitchen that allows you to host and barbecue. And of course, you can also add a fire pit, fire table, or even a fire column or outdoor fireplace. Some other outdoor entertainment options include a putting green like this one, or a bocce ball court, or even a tennis court. I really like this putting green in my own backyard. It adds a lot of visual appeal and it's really popular among kids and adults when we have gatherings. One last item you may want to consider is a pergola. A pergola blocks the sun and it also adds dimension to an otherwise flat space. Our backyard is south-facing, so it gets a lot of sun in the summer. When we had parties before, our guests tend to gather together under the shade on the lower terrace and didn't like this upper terrace that much because it was too sunny. We got this pergola sponsored by Sorara. It's 10 by 20 in size and is made of this powder-coated aluminum frame, so it feels high quality but it's not super heavy. I'm really impressed by the quality and the design of this product. When I hear pergola, I think about the wooden pergola that's bulky and traditional. But this pergola is very modern and sleek, and it suits our modern resort look perfectly. The installation requires 2 people and takes about 3 to 4 hours, but it was not difficult. The longest part was installing the louvered roof, where each piece had to be installed separately. The adjustable roof can change the lighting angle from 0 to 90 degrees, and it offers protection against sun or rain, which is very cool. There's also a privacy screen you can purchase separately that can block additional sunlight and wind and can be pulled up and down easily. I thought about putting a pergola in the backyard on my big flip project that's on over an acre lot over the new outdoor kitchen, but I was worried that it was going to blow up my budget because I read that a 12 by 12 pergola cost somewhere between $4,000 to $8,000 on average. But surprisingly, this 10 by 20 size metal pergola only cost $3,800 on Amazon, and the 10 by 10 size cost just over $2,000. I have the product linked in the description below, and you are getting a 5% discount if you use a link to purchase it. We talked a lot about the wish list, but it's really important to make sure that in your backyard there's enough space and you also have enough budget available for all the items that are on your wish list. For example, a regular Bay Area home is on a lot that's about 6,000 square foot. So the backyard can be a little limited, and if you want to put in a pool, it might be a little tight. So what I usually do with my backyard remodels is I put in a good sized patio to make sure that there's enough space to host guests and to entertain. And then we put in a lawn and some plants to make it look pretty. On my personal home, we're on an over 10,000 square foot lot. So we wanted to keep this pool that was existing and refinish it. And we also wanted to create a resort look. So we actually demoed the old concrete patio and installed this new deck. We had some new plants and trees to add color and dimension to the space. And we didn't really have the space for a new outdoor kitchen, so we just got a portable grill. And we also added the putting green that's additional interest too. The third step is to create a budget. You want to know how much exactly you have to spend and how much each item on your wish list costs. This is the step where you narrow down your list to the must-haves and choose some items that are optional but are allowed by your budget. Like I mentioned, on a regular backyard in the Bay Area, so for a home that's on about 6,000 square foot lot, usually the backyard scope of work is pretty simple and it's low budget. I spend somewhere between $5,000 to $8,000 to remodel a backyard. Usually it includes repairing and refinishing the existing patio or deck for $2,000 to $3,000, and then another $3,000 or so to installing new sod. And then we spend another $1,000 to put in new plants and mulch. That would be a very basic backyard remodel without any fancy or specific features. Of course, you can do a lot more interesting stuff in your backyard, like a backyard kitchen or using wooden deck like we did here. That would add a lot more to your cost. For a medium-sized backyard like my own home that's on over 10,000 square foot lot, you can probably do a simple and plain backyard remodel for $20,000 to $30,000 if you just have some lawn and a good sized patio, but without any fancy features. But if you are doing what we did here, like refinishing the pool, putting new wooden deck and installing a new putting green and all of the plants and trees, then you are probably talking about over $100,000. On a huge backyard like my flip that was on over an acre lot, of course, your budget would have to be higher, but it's still possible to do the backyard renovation within a reasonable cost. A lot of people, including some landscaping architects, were telling me that I would need to spend at least $200,000 to really renovate the backyard. But my budget was only $100,000 because my goal was to make the backyard clean and appealing without breaking the bank. But in the end, I was able to do it because we used a lot of cost-effective features like a big concrete patio and an outdoor kitchen and a putting green rather than installing a new pool or some other expensive features. On a large backyard, a big patio and an outdoor kitchen are the essentials because the buyers would be looking for an outdoor space that's perfect for entertaining and family gatherings. As I mentioned, a concrete patio is cheaper than using wooden deck. So if you're budget constrained, using concrete is a lot more cost effective for sure. If you like the wooden deck look, you don't really have to use wood. The wood we use here is called ipe, which it looks very beautiful and it's very durable, but it's pretty expensive. If you use Trex instead, which has the wood look and has many colors available to choose from, it's a lot more cost effective. I really like the idea of an outdoor kitchen because it elevates the outdoor space instantly and it doesn't really cost as much as you may think. A basic outdoor kitchen includes a stove, a sink, and a fridge, and you can definitely do it within $10,000. On my flip that has the huge backyard, I really wanted to install a new pool, but installing a new pool would cost somewhere between $80,000 to $100,000, which would blow my entire budget. So I had to settle for a putting green instead. The putting green cost less than $10,000, so it was a really good budget move. We also used a portable fire pit that cost only less than $1,000. But if we were to hardwire a fire pit into the yard, it would be more than $10,000. And of course, we used a ton of plants and mulch, and that's a very budget-friendly way to decorate a backyard. The fourth step is to hire a contractor or to do it yourself. If you are doing some simple work like installing or seeding a new lawn or adding some new plants, then it's very easy to do it yourself, but it's hard work. If we're talking about installing a new concrete patio or decking, then it's probably hard to do it yourself, and I think it's a good idea to hire a contractor who's familiar with concrete work or decking. For a pool or spa, usually you need to call a pool-related contractor. And for an outdoor kitchen, usually if a contractor can install an indoor kitchen, they can also install an outdoor kitchen that includes plumbing, electrical, and gas. If you're wondering how you can hire a good contractor, check out my video here for tips. For the entire backyard renovation on my personal home, check out this video here for inspirations. And if you're interested to see the huge backyard remodel that I did on a budget on my flip, check out this video here. I hope this video was helpful, and if you enjoyed it, smash the like button below and subscribe to the channel. If you have any more questions regarding a backyard renovation, drop me a comment below. Thank you guys so much. See you next time. Spending from a couple $1,000s to over $100,000 each time, and that allows you to host. There's also a pergola blocks. One last item. So in the summer, it gets a ton of sun, and usually it includes without any fancy or specific, that would be